Welcome to another exciting episode of TFL Talking Trucks. And this is also special because this is part of our Insider series where we kind of take a deep dive into a brand new truck. And in this case, it's the updated, fully redesigned 2021 Ford F-150. And I have the man, the chief engineer for the truck, Craig Schmatz, on the show. And Craig, can you please quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Craig Schmatz. I am the chief engineer for the all-new 21 model year F-150. Glad to be with you today.
TFL Insider new Ford F-150 video series is brought to you by our friends at 5 Star Tuning. These guys have been tuning Ford trucks for decades. They specialize in custom tunes that can boost power, increase efficiency, improve off-road capability, and the ultimate towing performance. Go to 5startuning.com, linked in the description below, and unlock the full potential of your truck or SUV right now.
Do you guys love trucks? If so, we've got a new podcast that will keep you entertained for hours, from on-road to off-road, from Raptors to Frontiers to Tacomas. Check out tfltruck.com/podcast or go to wherever you get your favorite podcast, including Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Spotify.
Cool, thank you for your time. And on this show, on this episode, I want to kind of touch on the highlights of the truck and kind of drill into some of them. But I just want to start really with the chassis, the frame, and the suspension, because kind of that's the underpinning of the truck, and how it may be changed from the previous generation and the previous years. Because recent sales data came out, and the half-ton and the full-size segment is getting more and more competitive, right? So here you are with an updated truck, trying to maintain competition there.
Great. Look, I can start with chassis overall.
Let's do that.
Yeah, one of the things that we did for wheels and tires, we went with a larger outside diameter tire, right? So that required us to make quite a few changes to the frame, just to accommodate the larger wheel and from a steering perspective. Plus we also upgraded the chassis for the 14,000 pounds of towing, which is a best-in-class number we're really proud of. So some small upgrades from a structures perspective, but the basic foundation is fundamentally there from an architecture. It's still a high-strength steel frame. We did the MHT transmission, or I should say the Power Boost, does have a longer transmission, so we had to change some cross members in order to package that. Plus, of course, the Power Boost battery to be able to make that great combination, which we'll talk about later. We did also increase the tread width just a little bit under an inch, just to give it a little bit more, planted look, and also helps with the dynamics on the vehicle. We have electronic brakes. Electronic brake boost is 100% across the board, and that's all new for us. And from a chassis perspective, adaptive steering. We've added adaptive steering to our high-end series, so that really is great. I know we've had that on Super Duty for a few years now, and it's new here for F-150, but it's great for low-speed maneuvers in the parking lot type of thing. That's easier to, less input to the steering wheel to get you where you need to go. And then at high speed, especially when you're towing, it reduces the gain, so it's more, get more comfortable and confident on when you're towing.
So mainly you're saying, so the overall frame is molded the same as far as the structure of it. It's still, fully boxed, right? And
yes.
Steel frame, and you've made changes to some of the suspension components, wheels. So it's mostly for function, right? I mean, why did you increase the size of the wheel and do all that?
Yeah, it's for function. I mean, the wheel and tire size was really for a couple things: appearance, but also, when you start getting to the bigger tire sizes, like on the Limited, where we've got that big 22-inch wheel, it actually does help with ride quality. We did focus a lot on ride performance as well. We've got, like I said, with the larger OD tires, but also monotube shocks in the rear on many of our vehicles, which does help for ride. And we've also increased the size of the body mounts. So that also helps with better isolation. And the combination of this is just fantastic from drivability. The unladen ride is really improved from outgoing, and we're very pleased on how it's all come together.
Okay, so before we get kind of the look of the truck, I want to touch on a couple of big numbers, right? So the payload and towing numbers. So for 2021, you have upgraded your capability. So the numbers got higher. I have all of it here. So the payload, I want to ask you first about. So maximum payload of 3,325 pounds,
Right.
which is a bit more than previous F-150. But tell me about this truck, because this is basically a V8 powered F-150. But this payload is like almost in heavy duty truck territory. First of all, who are the customers for this, and how did you get it there?
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the structural improvements we did for the towing also helped us for the payload. We did increase the gross combined weight rating of the vehicle to be able to deliver those payload numbers. Yeah, and we know, it's a big number, and not all of our customers will use that, but that capability is there if they need it. And then, of course, you saw across the range, we saw those same level of improvements for all the power packs. But yeah, I mean, you find that in this segment, especially with F-150, is that it's just having that capability when you need it. You may never need it, or you may need it occasionally, but it's there and it's extremely capable.
So is that a special truck? So it's like a two-wheel drive V8 powered F-150 for this maximum payload. Do you have to specify like a special suspension package? How does that work?
Yeah, we have a heavy payload package that includes different springs, shock, and etc. So yeah, we have a mid payload package and a heavy payload package. So if you really need that capability, check those boxes and off you go.
Yeah, because that's way higher than any other half-ton truck in the segment. So, and I don't think I've ever driven one of these. I imagine these are kind of rare.
Oh, the heavy payload.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll have to get you a loaner so you can check it out.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll put all the weight into it.
There you go.
So, and then the other number that, of course, matters a lot is towing. You have went from 13,200 to 14,000 on the EcoBoost, the 3.5. So that's also a really huge number. So tell me about how was that change possible, I guess?
Yeah, again, some of the structural upgrades we talked about was key for that. We made sure we had to upgrade the brakes with kind of 3-level of brake packages depending on the capability of the vehicle. The heavy payload and the max tow get the largest brakes, kind of fills up the wheel. And we just, that tread width increase, all that stuff contributes to being able to hit those numbers. And you see, again, just same with payload, you see that increase across the board on all of our variants. We're getting more capability. And, those big numbers, again, not everybody's going to use the 14,000 pounds, but, the truck becomes even more capable at 13 and 12 and 11, right? So it really does benefit everybody.
And of course, the hybrid, which we'll kind of dig deeper into in a little bit, the hybrid maximum towing is 12,700 pounds.
Right.
So we'll touch on that a little bit more, because when we talk about powertrains, which is of course very important, let's touch on just kind of quickly the body and the style and the new bed and tailgate. So a lot of people say that it's kind of a little bit, evolutional. So it looks very similar to what it's looked like before. How was that designed? Tell me a little bit more about kind of the appearance of the truck.
Yeah, so, one thing about F-150 customers, they love those design cues that we put in, like the C-clamp for the headlamps. They like the drop-down belt molding. So what we did is we kept those cues, but kind of dialed them up, right? Like on the signature lighting on the front of the truck, you see that the SIG lighting goes all the way down into the bumper area. on the side of the vehicle, that drop-down belt, we've accented it in the sheet metal so that it's, stands out better. But yeah, all the panels on the exterior are new to provide that kind of that step forward for the design on the F-150. The hood is raised at the A-pillar to kind of give the front end a bit more mass. We deliver 3% better aerodynamics, which, if you know about aero, that's difficult to do. And we were able to do that with just making sure we execute every design detail from an aero perspective. It's in the mirrors, it's in the C-pillar, it's in the tailgate spoiler and the lip on that. And it's in the active air dam. We've got a great feature on the vehicle, an active air dam that comes down, at 40 miles an hour, where you really need that air dam. And it tucks up like you see on the picture here, so it's not in your way at lower speeds. But, it's just fantastic, the amount of differentiation we've given. Each series has its own, character. Our customers, we've researched the truck with them. They love the design. And so we're very, very pleased. And it's all wrapped around a cabin size that's pretty much the same as it is today, which is great because our customers love how much usability they get and the space inside the cabin. So, I think they really appreciate and will love what we've done with the exterior design. I should say that, headlamps, we've got the 3 levels of lamps, starting from incandescent. We've got the LED reflector as a mid-size lamp, our mid-series lamp, and then the LED projector at the top end as the dynamic bending, auto leveling, all kinds of great features. And that SIG lighting is just fantastic.
So you did, I want to kind of unpack that a little bit. So first, the air dam. So that's basically an automatic feature. It's on the right below the front bumper, right?
That's right.
It's available on some higher trims, or how does that work?
It's across the board.
Across the board. Okay.
Yep. So 100% we'll get that. There's one exception for snowplow package. Does not get it because it gets in the way of snowplow. So, but everybody else gets it. It's great for fuel.
So there's no driver interaction with it, right? It kind of works by itself.
Right. And if you are in off-road modes, we thought about that too, even though it's not likely you're going above 40, but you could be on the desert, as we showed in our torture test, right? So we made sure if you're in an off-road mode, that it also stores the air dam up for you. Rock crawls and, other things. But yeah, so the air dam is great. It's transparent to the customer. I should mention on the side of the truck, you've got the extended running boards. So both fixed and powered. So you've got a power board that, goes all the way back to the rear tires so that you can get side access to the bed. We also have approach detect. So as you're walking up to the truck, instead of having to grab the handle and have the door come down or the board come down, as you're walking up, it recognizes you're there and it brings the board down, and you can do hands-free, loading into the side of the bed. And then on the back, the tail lamps, of course, have the blind spot, which is a feature that, we've taken it's 80% of the take rate or higher of the vehicle. And then the whole tailgate work surface area, I don't know if you want to get into that now or we can talk about it later, but just fantastic what we've done on the back of the truck, the working end of the truck.
Yeah, before we get to the tailgate, which is next, I want to touch on the headlights because you kind of touched on the headlight design. Because what a lot of stuff, what sometimes happens with trucks specifically is that the most base trucks, the headlight performance is not quite up to par, and there are different organizations like IIHS who test headlights and are very careful about that. And then, of course, the premium trucks have much better lights. Did you kind of look at that, how it spans across the trim levels?
Yeah. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, in the past, we've had 2 levels of lamps. You had the incandescent and the very high-end LED. And so this time we've expanded LED by doing this LED reflector. And that starts at high XLT and up, which will be 65% or so of the vehicle line will have LED headlamps. So that helps. We still have the incandescent base lamp. We still have, a cost should say, a price point for our customers that we need to deliver. We've worked on improving the functionality and the light performance incandescent, as well as then bringing more LEDs into the vehicle line.
All right, sounds good. Let's touch on the tailgate because we call it the tailgate wars. You know, everybody has a feature on the tailgate. Tell me what you kind of did with this truck.
Yeah, you know, we have taken a look. We spent a lot of time with customers, and you know, more than we've ever done before. Observational research, actually spending time with them. I went to actually lived with a customer on their ranch for a weekend and just observed how they use their vehicle, what they used it for, what some of their pain points were. Anyway, the tailgate area is, you know, it's the working end of the truck. And we've done a lot of things back there. We've got the tailgate work surface. So it's a large flat surface. It's got some designed in features with, you know, rulers back there. It's got a place to hold up a phone or a small tablet, place for, you know, nuts and bolts or a coffee cup, whatever. So nice, great surface to work back there. And then we put clamp pockets on the gate, standard. So if somebody needs to clamp some materials down there to work, you can use the clamp pockets for that. We have tie downs on the side, again, standard on every tailgate to be able to, you know, tie stuff down. And bed lighting has been adjusted so now that it lights the tailgate work surface. So if you're working there in the dark or dusk, whatever, that'll help light up what you're working on. And most importantly, now we've got the Pro Power on board. So you know, everyone in the industry seems to have 400 watts, which doesn't really give you the power you need to do projects. And we're providing 2 kilowatts on our gas engines, our optional gas engines, the 2.7, the 3.5, the 5 liter, 2.4 on the Power Boost hybrid as a standard, and 7.2 kilowatts on the Power Boost hybrid as an optional. 7.2 kilowatts, just a ton of power. You can do all kinds of projects with that, right?
So can you power your house maybe off of it? If the power outage happened?
You can power power some items from your house, right? I can imagine you're plugging in the refrigerators and the stuff to keep things from melting on you. Sure, for sure. Yeah, and you know, think about it for a work site. In fact, you know, they're doing construction on the house next to mine, and I hear the generator out there running continuously. And if they had a Power Boost hybrid, they wouldn't need it. They could run all their tools off the 7.2 kilowatt out there.
So how does that work? Do you have to kind of leave the truck idling, or how does that power generation work?
That's right. You have to leave the vehicle idling. Okay. Essentially, the power comes off of the high voltage battery, and then the engine will run to recharge the battery as it needs to. So if you're running less than 2.4 kilowatts of power, it'll cycle. The engine will cycle on and off just as it needs to keep that battery going. If you're running 7 kilowatts, it'll be running all the time. But you know, even for loads like 2.4 kilowatts, which is quite a bit, you could run that continuously for like 85 hours. If it's 7.2, it's more like 32 hours, something like that, on a tank of gas. But just imagine the flexibility that provides for people on, you know, going camping. You know, a bunch of the team members went and took some trucks out and went camping. They brought a full-size oven out there and coffee makers and TVs and all kinds of stuff just to bring some of the creature comforts with them. Or if you're at a work site, you know, just think of, even for disaster relief, think about, instead of somebody bringing a generator to a site trying to keep it filled with gas, you've got your mobile disaster response truck right there. You can bring it and just make sure it's filled with gas. You can run stuff, power out of it. If you need a place to work, we've got, you know, interior work surfaces we can talk about in a bit. But it's great. I mean, it's really something I think our customers would really find beneficial.
Awesome. Okay, let's dig into the powertrains, because that's very important. You're still offering 6 powertrains, if I can count correctly.
Yes. yes. I mean, it's a great powertrain lineup on the current model, and we've just made it so much better. The 3.3 is our 3.3 liter V6 is our base engine. Now that's mated with a new 10-speed transmission. So we have 10-speed across the board now, right? So that's better for fuel economy for the 3.3. So it helps that base powertrain. The 2.7 is more or less unchanged. We do have the 5-liter, which comes now with variable displacement cylinder deactivation, again for better fuel economy when lightly loaded. We've got the 3-liter Lion diesel, so we still have that for those people that want the diesel engine. It's a great powertrain, great fuel economy, especially while towing. Let's see, we've got the 3.5 EcoBoost, right? So,
well, before you get there, so let's touch on the 5-liter because the power rating has changed, right? So
yes,
so you boosted it a little bit to 400 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque.
right.
So that's a small kind of boost where it was before. And tell me a little bit more about the multi-displacement system. Is that like shutting down half the cylinders, or how does that work?
Right. Yeah, it's a 4-cylinder or 8-cylinder system. So so we found that gives the majority of the benefit that we need from cylinder deactivation versus the ones that do steps in between.
And have you announced fuel economy yet?
We have not. It's coming very, very soon. We're doing our final certification, and so it'll be announced, in November.
Okay, so I'll keep a lookout for that.
Yep.
I'll keep a lookout. So now let's go to the EcoBoost. So you said
Sure.
is mostly unchanged. 3.5 is changed as far as rating is concerned. And I wanted to ask you, how you got there. So 400 horsepower now on the 3.5 and 500 pound-feet of torque.
Yes.
That's a big rating.
That is. It's fantastic. Yeah, there's shared components between the PowerBoost Hybrid and the 3.5 EcoBoost. They've taken some of the components from the high output variant. For job one, we do not have the high output variant any longer, but we've obviously upgraded the base 3.5 as well as now with the PowerBoost. But yeah, it's some internal components that give you that improvement. Gallery cooled pistons, and I think it was a stainless exhaust manifold and some things like that. So, but really, fantastic on the 3.5, and then just the PowerBoost is just something right home about. And that is the last powertrain we need to talk about. But wow.
So this is now 3.5 twin turbo combined with your new modular transmission, right?
Right.
And there's an electric motor sandwiched in there. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Right. We've essentially taken the 3.5 GTDI, and when you think about hybrid, you're thinking in general it's going to be fuel economy only, and not here, right? This is our AND solution. We think it's really appropriate for a full-size pickup. But yeah, there's an e-motor in the system. It's a modular hybrid transmission. We've got a 1.5 kilowatt-hour battery that's mounted on the frame rails, and the e-motor is 35 kilowatt in itself, and you've got that onboard generator as well as part of the package. So it'll add, that's 30 horsepower at the peak and 70 pound-feet of torque. So it's really great for fuel and great for performance when you need it, and still has that 12,700 pounds of towing performance, which is just fantastic. Plus, we've announced 700 miles of range as well, and it's just. And then, of course, that Pro Power on board. I think it's just the entire package.
So 430 horsepower total, 570 pound-feet of torque, like you said.
Right.
And it's a full hybrid, which means technically it could run or drive on electricity alone. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, in city situations, as you're applying brakes, it has regenerative braking, so it'll take some of that power and charge the battery. But yeah, if you're in a steady state condition, you'll go for several miles with just the battery on, and then of course it comes back on, but the ICE engine comes back in. But it's really seamless transmission from ICE engine to battery. And so, yeah, it's you Right. Unlike the mild hybrids, which you really can't drive on the battery alone, here you can.
Okay. And the modular transmission and electric motor, is that very similar to the Ford Explorer system?
It is. It
Okay.
is. It's very similar to the Ford Explorer system. They now mount that to a different engine for a different use case. So we had to make sure when we engineered this up front that we engineered it to work for the F-150, which is the much heavier duty use case. And as I'm sure you've seen on that torture test video that we just released this week, we really put it through its paces on Davis Dam, which you're very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
On our proving grounds, we had, special battery testing, and Borrego Springs for off-road capability. So we really put it through its paces, make sure it was worthy of being an F-150.
So you basically took this hybrid power truck and put it kind of through the same test cycle and then some, right, for the battery?
And then some, right. I mean, we know that this is, we had to go do that just to prove that it was worthy of being an F-150 powertrain. But it was always designed up front to do that. We just wanted to make sure through our testing that we verified it.
Okay, cool. And the torque, is that one of those things that it kind of starts early? I mean, the electric motor, I mean, if you require maximum acceleration or power, it just kind of helps you there, or how does that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, it helps you all the way across the range. If that battery is fully charged and ready to go, you step on it, you get that instant just like you would with a battery electric vehicle. And then it helps all the way up to even through the peak area of the torque band. So
and
really,
does the driver know, is there some sort of a display, battery status display for the driver, or is that seamless, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, we have certain HMI where you can see what's going on with it's called Power Flow in the sync screen. It'll show you whether the battery's on or the ICE engine and why, if the ICE engine is running, why that's running. Of course, you can see it in the tachometer that on the cluster too. If it goes to 0, you know that you're running you're running off the battery. And then we've got some of the eco coaching tools that if somebody really wants to try and maximize their fuel, we can show them, if they step on the gas too much, it'll trip over the ICE engine and how they can optimize their fuel economy. So yeah, there's lots of great tools there for somebody that might want to do that.
Well, very soon, I'm sure we can get behind the wheel and actually test it out, and we'll publish all those videos, obviously, on TFL Truck and
great
and all that stuff. Let's touch on the interior, because that's a big change, right? So you redesigned the interior. So let's kind of go over some of the cool features there.
Yeah, I mean, all new interior, instrument panel, door trims, seat foams, fabrics, all of that. It's in the same size as I mentioned earlier, but everything the customer can touch and feel essentially is brand new. And the instrument panel, just starting there, you've got we've upgraded all the clusters, and we have an all digital cluster at the very high end, which is really impactful. We've kind of done a bit more with the selectable drive modes, for slippery or tow haul or sport, and actually, you get a graphical representation of that particular drive mode as you're making your selections. It also changes the color palette when you do that, but you can also get a lot more function out of the all digital cluster with things like when you're doing the lane centering or driver assist modes. We maximize the space in the center and minimize the tack and the speedo, so that you can use that information. Center stack. So now we've got 2 screens. You start with an 8-inch screen as your standard, and then the 12-inch screen landscape, which is just fantastic. And that's more than half of the volume is that 12-inch screen. And we've designed that 12-inch screen for maximum usability. So you have a main area of the screen, and then you have we call it IOD, information on demand area, where that can be audio or navigation or lots of different choices there that you can select. And you can swap between the two very easily. It's standard with Sync 4, which we think is great. It's got better voice recognition, just overall better functionality, and digital owner's manual is part of that package now too. So I'm moving from left to right. So now we're in the center.
Okay.
I should mention we kept audio and climate controls with the 12-inch screen, which our customers told us they like the big screens, but they want that to be really functional. And we found that this is providing that right balance of screen use plus controls. They told us very, very strongly, multiple research events, observation.
Mhm.
They want the controls where they expect them to be, and that is screen, climate and audio, storage below that. Pro Trailer Backup Assist is still part of the very popular and segment exclusive feature. We've got that there. Trailer brake controller, selectable drive modes, all of that's exactly where a customer would want it. We have 2 glove boxes now, so we have a standard upper glove box. Customers love storage.
Okay.
And then on the center console area, we have, this is a really cool story. Our customers love that shifter on the center console, but we also know they really struggle with using that area when the vehicle's parked for working or for lunch, because our customers spend 8, 10, many hours a day in the vehicle. And so we actually, with eShift, standard eShift on the vehicle, we're able to stow that shifter into the console and then open up the console lid. And now you have this big flat work surface. And we still have cup holders on the back, so it's a much more usable space for working in the cab. And we have that on the 20% seat too. If you get a bench seat across, on the back of the center seat, we have a work surface that can slide forward and it can also rotate towards the driver, again, only when parked. So they've got a great area there to use a laptop or do whatever work they need to do. And again, when you slide it forward, we've left storage and cup holders. And so it made it very, very usable. And combine that again with the power. And it's just fantastic. I think both the interior work surfaces.
And if you get the bench seat, the 3-person seating in the front,
yeah,
does the shifter move up to the column, or where?
Yes, that's right. That's right. We still have the shifter on the console for some of our customers, but many of them still have it on the column. It is an e-shifter as well, but it's a traditional type of feel that our customers have asked for.
Okay.
Yeah, and the seats are, the materials are upgraded. Actually, the materials throughout the vehicle are upgraded. We also have a max recline seat, because again, we know customers like to work in their vehicles. They also need to rest in their vehicles between the times that we're working, and it's not that comfortable to do that. So we have increased the recline on all of the seats. But on the max recline seat, you can go full flat 180 degrees. The seat cushion rises up to meet the seat back. You actually have a paddle on the back to raise to make it more comfortable for you. So let's see. There's more, but wait, there's more. So in the back, we have customers told us they like full width lockable storage. So we've got, we've introduced that on Super Duty. It's now on F-150. It folds flat into the floor, and you can deploy it and then lock the seats, and you've got storage that's secure. Or if you need it for the full flat load floor, you can just stow it down on the floor, and away you go. I should mention audio systems. We haven't talked audio. Okay. We have a B&O Unleashed 18-speaker system.
What is that?
Yeah, it's a 1,080-watt system. It's 18 speakers. It's got a ported subwoofer and speakers in the headrest. So fantastic audio system. And even the 8-speaker B&O systems now available all the way down to XLT. And that includes that same ported subwoofer, just not as many speakers. But our customers, the interior, I can't wait until we get customers into the vehicles, until we get, media like yourselves to get in the vehicle, drive it, experience the interior. It's just fantastic what we've done on the interior. Everything's upgraded. It's a great design and very, very comfortable and functional.
And there is also like another base stereo system, I imagine, like XL.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Yep. We start with I think it's a 7. Well, it depends on cab style, but it's 7-speaker, I believe. But,
Okay, so
yeah.
and then finally, so speaking about technologies, moving a little bit further, so you do have Wi-Fi capability, right, inside the truck.
Yeah.
You have over-the-air updates because it's Sync 4, correct?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and then self-driving highway modes coming later, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the over-the-air updates is pretty significant step forward for us. We've done over-the-air updates in the past, but it's been pretty limited to just the modem and to sync itself. And with this multi-module over-the-air update capability, we'll be able to update nearly every module on the vehicle. I think it's 50 plus modules by 21 calendar years. So so we'll be able to do both system upgrades as well as new feature offerings. And one of those new features is hands-free driving. So at Job 1, we're providing called the Prep Kit, the hardware to facilitate the hands-free driving. And then middle of next year, via either dealer visit or over the air, we'll be able to provide that software to provide hands-free driving capability. So it's very exciting.
This is like on the highways, divided highways, correct? So
that's right.
So
that's
it's
right.
not
Exactly.
anywhere.
It's not anywhere. It's on divided highways, but it's many miles of road that this would be capable on, and even on the base vehicle not the base, but the vehicle you're going to get at Job 1, you're going to have lane centering assist, which is again, a substantial step forward from the lane keeping, because it'll keep you, centered in the lane versus preventing you from going outside the lanes. And it gives you a good feel for how well the vehicle tracks in the lane, because, when we do the hands-free, that's obviously, it's going to be an enhanced algorithm there to allow you to go hands-free. But our driver assist, features, including the hands-free, are just upgraded substantially from outgoing, both what we have on the standard on the base vehicle as well as on the high end with the lane centering assist, intelligent adaptive cruise control. So it'll have traffic sign recognition. You can set a speed and say, hey, I want to go, at the speed limit, or I don't want to say you want to go above the speed limit, but let's say you want to go at the speed limit or 5 below. When it goes into new speed zone, let's say you're on the highway and going from 70 down to 55, it'll adjust the cruise control for you. You don't have to worry about, staying 70 miles an hour in a 55 and getting a ticket. The system will adjust for you, which is great.
And the adaptive cruise functionality is still available on certain trucks, right?
Yes. Actually, the intelligent adaptive cruise is done all the way into the XLT.
Okay, and then
as an option.
We're almost at the end, but
okay,
there's a lot.
There is a lot to talk about. Yep.
So FX4 is still around. It's FX4 is your off-road package.
That's right.
How does that work? Is it like special shock tuning, different modes? How does that work?
Yeah, it's different shock tuning. We've got a different skid plate package. It primarily is what we have for the FX4.
And there's a new, I think, rock crawl mode or a new off-road mode.
Yeah. Rock crawl mode is now available in FX4 as well. So yeah, we really have done more with the selectable drive modes.
And so pricing is around. There's an online configurator that's early version is available. So if you guys want to see the pricing, it starts just under $29,000 for a before destination charges for the two-wheel drive truck. And of course, pricing goes up. There's a wide range of price.
Right. Yes. Yeah, we try to make sure we keep the base price, and make it affordable. Of course, with additional content comes additional, higher price points. But we think it's still a very, very good value all the way across the range.
So if you want that limited, fully optioned truck, I mean, it's still there, and of course it's priced appropriately.
Right.
Probably above $70,000 probably if you option it all the way up.
Right. That is true. And that comes, of course, you can get a limited with the 3.5 EcoBoost or with the Power Boost. And it comes with almost all the bells and whistles. There's only a few more boxes to check at that point. Most of them are already checked for you.
Yeah, I gotcha. So, and when is this truck available? I mean, are you building them already?
Yes, we have started building them at Dearborn Truck Plant. We will be building in Kansas City Assembly Plant as well, and that's coming up very, very soon. They're just finishing up the balance out of the 20 model year, and we'll be doing a short changeover to be building the new, but at Dearborn Truck Plant, they have already started building the new model. So we're very excited. Very soon, I would expect that we'll have the vehicles in the dealership, and be shipping from both plants, clearly by the end of the year, and start getting some real volume in dealership. I know there's a lot of excitement out there, and we're very excited ourselves to get them on the road.
Awesome. And I just wanted to ask if you wanted to break any news about the Ford Raptor or anything else. You have the floor.
Yes, there'll be more coming about the Ford Raptor. We have said that there will be a Raptor, but I can't give any more specifics than that.
Okay, so I can't ask you. Okay, I had to ask. And then finally, F-150 electric, right? You said within 2 years there's going to be an all-electric truck.
Right. Yeah, we're very excited about that. There was an announcement a few weeks ago. We're building a new facility at the Rouge. To be able to assemble the battery electric, and it's going to be fantastic as well. And again, it's just, we're really offering the kind of capability our customers are looking for, including both the Power Boost hybrid here and then full electric to come. So exciting.
Very cool. Well, thank you for kind of giving me a kind of a deep dive and some more, early information. I really appreciate it. And of course, you'll find this podcast on anywhere podcasts are distributed, and also TFL Talk is our YouTube channel. Craig, thank you for your time. We went a little bit over. I apologize.
No problem.
But there's a lot there.
There is an awful lot there. So I appreciate you taking the time or allowing me to share the story about the all-new 21 model year F-150. We think it's going to be fantastic.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.